I don't know when we want to introduce his plot in the story.
Right.
At
Okay.
all.
All right. So what do we need to? So is Melkor having his first meeting with Ungoliant in this episode? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So are we doing that at the end?
I would imagine we would do it before the party starts.
Right.
And then end the episode with him and Ungoliant standing on the pillory about to come down into Valinor.
Okay. So if we begin the episode with Melkor, what would he be doing?
I have no idea. I just meant when you said start in Tirion, I'm like, yes, that's what I want to do. Let me just make sure we don't actually want to start with Melkor.
Okay, all right, gotcha. I'm having a lot of trouble hearing your audio today for some reason. It just keeps cutting out. No, you keep cutting out. No. Okay. So I just don't think that there's anything for him to do. You know?
Agreed. I don't him.
You don't him?
Before he's standing, I don't think we need to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Slayer, because I think a question in the early part of this episode is going to be, where is Melkor?
Right. Okay.
Is fine. I think. I just wanted to make sure that that was a decision that made sense and not just me.
Yeah. Okay. So if we start out in Tirion, and oh gosh, all right, we're seeing the construction in the background. All right, because I don't want to make that a thing. I think that's going to become a thing. Maybe that can be like our Act 1 break. Maybe. Does that make sense?
Act 1 break?
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Anything you said.
Okay. Do you think that the conversation, the emissary of the Ainur complaining about the walls, do you think that that scene can be like our Act 1 break, our lead into Act 2?
That would give us time to do all of the meanwhile back in Tyrion stuff of catching up with the family members and things before we introduced the Valar stuff. I do like the idea of showing Fingolfin having an issue with, but not immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of showing why Fingolfin's not happy. He was fighting with his brother, and now his brother and his dad put him in charge. Like, what more did he want from this situation? And the answer is for the Valar to leave him alone. And that's going to be an interesting thing to show. Right. A good spot for it.
Yeah, I mean, because the more that I read the discussion that takes place around the banishing of Feanor, the more it reads to me that the Noldor, not just Feanor, but the Noldor are antagonistic of the Valar in general.
Yes, and the Silmarillion is clearly written by someone who has opinions on that history.
Yeah.
And is that the Noldor rebelled against the Valar, and oh, what a terrible thing that was.
Yeah.
But that is not the only way to read what happened.
Yeah.
Most likely, the historian is writing it that way because of what the Noldor did as soon as they rebelled. You had the kinslaying, you had all this disaster. So it was very clear that the Noldor were out of line then. But whether or not the Noldor were wrong in the first place is another question entirely, which the historian kind of just lumps in and says, see, there's awful Noldor rebelling against the wise and caring Valar who just wanted what was best for them. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Fëanorians.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that once again, this is one of those situations where everybody kind of has a point. It's one of the reasons why the book actually tells it and gives you everybody's point of view kind of at the same time, you know. So if we show the building of the wall, we can introduce. Can we get Idril introduced in that scene, maybe?
It depends what we want to do with her. I had
Like
written a scene where Galadriel and Eredel talk to each other, and Kid Idril is there, and I put that up on the board, and
yeah,
that would fit here.
That would make a nice teaser, I think.
The question is whether or not we need Galadriel and Eredel as our voices right now. I'm up with that scene, independent of what episode it would end up in. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I think that having these three young people kind of discussing things that aren't these big momentous things that are happening with big momentous things happening in the background, I kind of really like that idea.
And certainly the way I wrote the scene, there's an opportunity to insert relevant dialogue about important things, not just, you know.
By the way, if you don't write episode 11, I will be shocked. Just saying.
I like Fëanor. I really like Fëanor.
I know. Well, you should write episode 11. Anyway, so which is good. I mean, I feel like episode 11 is probably our strongest so far, to be honest. Just because it's a very, very tight episode. Anyway, so we can get the kids talking as our teaser.
And the conversation I wrote for them was about basically the meaning of family.
Yeah.
Theme of the episode, but it can be rewritten to be more relevant.
I feel like it wouldn't require too much adjustment though, because we're having the family kind of get back together in a way at the end of this episode.
Yeah. So I mean, if our theme for the episode is reconciliation, then the cousins talking about what it means to be cousins and explaining this to poor little Idril. I do feel bad for the girl because she's like, I think she's a toddler in the scene as it was written, but maybe she's going to have to be like 5 or 6 now, so she might have to be slightly more intelligent than I think I wrote her as.
Okay.
Well, because the idea is if you're a toddler, you don't realize you're not allowed to, like, say, marry your parents.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the word marry means. So you just think, I love mommy and daddy, I want to marry them. And it's like, no, small child, that's not how this works.
This morning I saw a brother and sister talking about being married.
And when my nieces and nephews were like 2 and 3 years old, I would get them to act out fairy tales together. So it was really super cute because they were 2 and 3 years old. So like we did Little Red Riding Hood, and I was Big Bad Wolf, and so my little niece, put on her little hood, and she had a basket, and she came to see me, and she learned her lines, and then I of course was the grandmother too. So I was like, what big eyes you have and all that. So that was super cute, and she was 3, and it was great. But then we did Sleeping Beauty, and so she was Sleeping Beauty, and so she would just lay down on the floor and pretend to sleep, and her brother would have to kill the dragon and rescue her.
Yeah.
Dragon. So it was adorable, but at the same time it was like, okay, so you're gonna wake up the princess now, go ahead, kiss her on the cheek. Okay, that's great, good job, kids. But I mean, they were brother and sister, so to be prince and princess, it's like, yeah, so you're brother and sister prince and princesses. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll just go with that. We don't need to explain
this. Not like you could lay it at all.
They were 2 and 3.
I know, I'm just teasing.
It
Okay.
was adorable.
So can we have Fingon coming back at the end of that scene? Maybe not even interacting with them, but riding through.
He rides up into the city.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and that brings us into the palace, and we should see armed soldiers essentially. Not as well disciplined as the Feanorians are at this point. But certainly.
But still, wearing armor, standing at attention at the gates and stuff.
Yeah.
Not letting people just ride through, but stopping them and questioning them first.
Yes.
Making it just look a little bit more.
A little bit more martial.
Yeah, which should kind of get the audience thinking that Feanor's army is going to fight Fingolfin's army.
Yeah.
Like if you kind of, and that's not where this is going, but we should at least have that thought available.
Right. Yeah. Can we have Fingolfin possibly thinking that Feanor is going to attack them?
No, he thinks that he's got 12 years before he has to deal with Feanor.
Yeah.
He doesn't think Feanor's going to do anything else. But after those 12 years, he should think Feanor's going to attack him. But he should think that it's his job to make sure that at the end of that 12 years, like he's got to know it's on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't think he should be afraid of his brother, but he should know that it's only going to escalate and get worse unless he's the one who fixes the feud.
Yeah. Okay. So, Fingon returns. Maybe the guards at the gate thing is new.
Yeah.
So he comes in and he asks his father what's going on, or maybe he could actually even ask the guards.
Yeah, what are you stopping me for? What is this? Yeah.
Yeah, and they say, well, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my lord, you have to take it up with Fingolfin, blah, blah, blah. So he rides up to the palace or whatever, and addresses Fingolfin, and Fingolfin could tell him that Melkor is on the loose, that they got word.
Yes. Surprised by this.
Right, which he is, because we already in our brilliance we decided that he didn't know.
Yeah. Okay, so that will be an obvious connection to the last episode. Everyone will know exactly when we are then.
Yes. Okay.
But now we have to deal with the surprise, because blaming Feanor and Fingolfin's feud on Melkor is another thing that the Noldor are going to be like, stop blaming Melkor. We take full responsibility for our own actions. Like, it's, like obviously he instigated, but Fingolfin's not going to take too kindly to being told, oh, the only reason you and your brother are fighting is because Melkor was spreading lies.
Well,
oh, my brother and I have always fought.
Yeah, but I think he might actually, like, in the book it seems like he's saying, well, if you figured out that the problem is Melkor, then me and my brother don't have a problem.
Right, we'll work it out ourselves.
Right.
You go take care of Melkor.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so Fingolfin considers Melkor to be the Valar's problem.
Yeah.
But he considers the Noldor to be his problem.
Right.
And
well, and also he wants to make sure that the Noldor are safe. Like Feanor, he thinks...
Problem, his concern.
Right. Like Feanor, he thinks that these walls are going to keep Melkor out.
Yeah, that's
Spoiler alert, they don't.
Yeah, but the have not seen the full might of Melkor at this point.
That's true.
He's been completely powered down around them the whole time so that they thought he was harmless.
Right.
So even though they've been told, oh, he's a big, bad, scary guy, they're like, okay, so we'll put a wall up. We're good now, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
They don't have a concept of what he is.
Right.
Yet.
We'll
get there.
Right. So we have this explanation. We still could get the Valar or sending an emissary to talk to Fingolfin about these walls he's building and these armed guards and whatnot. But I think that we have time for should have at least 2 scenes.
The scene with Fingon was still where Fingon and Fingolfin as like.
Say again.
The teaser. We started with Galadriel and Erethdil
and
Adriel, and then Fingon rides in.
Right. That's the end. When Fingon arrives, that's pretty much the end of the teaser at that point.
Right. Then Act 1 and Fingolfin talking.
Well, Act 1 begins with Fingon's arrival, discussion at the gate. He rides in. He rides up. We can get a good, wide, establishing shot of walled Tirion.
Right.
And the next thing is him walking into the throne room. He talks with Fingolfin. Fingolfin gives us our excellent exposition. He is, I think, irritable with the Valar even now for unleashing Melkor on them.
Yes. There should be some resentment there.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do we go after this? Because I would think that all of Act 1 is going to be in Tirion. Is that?
Well, we don't even need that to be the case. We can go to Formenos, and
that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any Valar stuff that we need to get? Because we can just not have anything from their point of view with what we're constructing here. And I think that would serve what the hosts want even better.
Yeah, I mean, supposed to be some Valar talking about hunting down Melkor and failing, but I don't know who needs to say that or what the conversation needs to be.
The emissary.
And it doesn't need to happen in Tirion.
The emissary to Tyrion could say that that's happening.
True. And not having the Valar speak directly about it does, like you say, fit what we're trying to accomplish a little better.
Yeah.
Open room for misinterpretation.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, these poor Valar. They messed up their little elf terrarium.
Okay. So I haven't set any time whatsoever. So why don't we take a quick break? Not that it matters right now. Thanks, YouTube. We'll take a quick break. If you're watching live, we'll be back in a second. If you're watching in the future someday, maybe when I can actually edit these videos, which would be awesome, YouTube. Definitely like and share the videos if you like and want to share them. If you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe. Check out the links below for all kinds of good stuff on Sigma University, Mythgard Academy, and not the least of which, Mythmoot 4 taking place this June, 1st through the 4th. It's going to be an awesome conference. Very exciting. We'll be back